Alrighty, everybody, good evening. 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. At this time, we'll go ahead and stand for an invocation. And Chad, I know you're here, Chad. Love to have you lead us in an invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance if possible. Thank you. Alrighty, at this moment, we'll go ahead and follow through with the presentation. And this will be a consideration and action to approve a proclamation recognizing Los Fresnos CISD Superintendent Dr. Gonzalo Salazar. At this time, do we have some speakers to address that, or anybody would like to say a couple of words from the council?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start the first day of school. I received a letter, and I want to start by reading part of that letter. And it says, it's not going to be everything. I'm going to read just a small part. It says, this was written by Dr. Salazar. So it says, we work with a moral imperative to provide every student a quality education and experience that builds an academic foundation and enrich the experience with programs that builds characters and resolve. We strive to ensure our graduates are equipped with the skills to be good people, servant leaders, effective communicators, critical thinkers, compassionate citizens, collaborative team members, and lifelong learners. We are a proud district and united community that believe that we do here shape the world. We invite you to be part of our community of learners and to join us as we strive to be the light in the lives of our students. This was sent by Dr. Salazar. Dr. Salazar, I want to say that you do lead by example. I am very proud to have my kids going to Los Fresnos CISD. I know that you and your amazing team, and of course the Board of Trustees, do everything to be ensured that you follow this. And I am very proud to have you here and to lead us and to make us look good. All the city, the citizens, and of course the students. So congratulations.
Okay, I'll go ahead and follow through. So, Dr. Salazar, one of the reasons why I decided to run for mayor was because I was proud of this community. Having my kids in school, from Laureles Elementary to Lopez Riggins, I was always very proud that the school district had. Even when I was a kid growing up here, I was always proud of what the school has accomplished. Everybody in my family that graduated high school went on to college. It was just a feeling that I had that this was a town where I wanted to be and raise my family. And so now that I'm mayor, I get to see and hear a little bit more about the work that you're doing. I follow the posts from Los Fresnos CISD, and seeing you on that podium for TASA, becoming the president, and seeing our students out there performing the conjunto, it's such an honor to see that we're putting Los Fresnos on the map. Every time I travel and I go to McAllen or I go to Brownsville or anywhere I go, I always like to tell everybody about the school district that we have and how people come over here because of the school district. We have a good school district, we have good students, and because of you and because of the board and because of the teachers and the staff, I feel like we have the best school district in the state of Texas. Recently, with the implementation of the security for the students that you guys have put forth, it's phenomenal, all the steps that you guys are taking. So I'm very grateful for that. Now, I did do a little bit of research on TASA, and I saw that we haven't had a representative in the Valley as a president since 1981 or 82, according to their website. So what an accomplishment to have since 1982, TASA representation right here in the city of Los Fresnos. So congratulations, take a bow, and we look forward to all the successes that you'll have in this role. Thank you.
Dr. Salazar, I want to be most gracious to you. I first met you as a principal of Olmito when my wife went to go apply. You've been a great leader for our community. You've been an example to many others out here, including myself. You've carried yourself humbly and graciously, and for that I thank you so much. I can only imagine the weight that you carry every day on your shoulders. And for that, my wife and I do pray for you every week at church. We know how much you are a man of God, and for us, it's a blessing to be able to have you here in our district. You are my example among many others out here. I know you cannot do this alone. You have a great team around you with the board, and I'm only gracious enough to be able to work for you, for this district, just as much as you give to us in our community. It's my example to give to it as well. So thank you very much, sir.
Well, Salazar, thank you and congratulations. And one thing that I hate is being on the end of the line because they say everything that's good and they leave nothing to say. No, but really, congratulations. We've been here for a long time, and I've known you guys, and you're doing great. And we're one of the schools that have one of the best swimming schools here in Texas, so it's something to honor. And I really want to thank you for being there. But like Mr. Flores said, it's all in a group. You're the head, but we got good teachers, we got good workers in there, and it's all as a team. But because of you, congratulations that everything's gotten very good. So congratulations again, Salazar. Thank you.
So at this time, I know it's a presentation, so I wanted to open it up to maybe a few visitors would like to come up and say a couple of words. Anybody from the audience, would you like to, this is a time where if you'd like to come up and share some kind words, including Mark Milam. Mark Milam's, forgot about Mark. Sorry about that, Mark. Let's have you go next.
It's all right. Some of you probably heard this before, but the school and the city and the chamber work close together in a lot of events, and it's with great pleasure that I get to say that we've never approached each other with an idea or a thought or a program with the answer no. There has been times where we've said, can we adjust it a little bit to fit in the parameters of what our focuses are, but it's always been a yes and a can-do attitude. And so I know this is about your presidency in TASA, but it's more than that. And the team that you've built and what it does for our students, and we appreciated it from the city and from making all those things happen. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
again, sorry about that, Mark. Skipped you, most important person. At this time, if anybody would like to come up and say a few words. Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
I don't have to be the only one from the board who speaks, but I just want to make sure everybody understands that the reason that our kids were spotlighted were, yes, they're amazing, but the children that are spotlighted are the children from the district of the TASB and the TASA president. So our kids were there because of all the hard work you've put in. And you've been on TASA how many years? 16 years. So he's worked on that board 16 years, slowly worked himself up to president. And the respect he has from the other TASA executive board members is, it makes us very proud. I mean, it was really nice to meet them and to hear their experience with you and to hear from them that you make them better just as you push us and you make us better. And you do that as a friend, as a, because we've worked together for years, 13 years, and our children are friends because they were in school together. And I love that we can have conversations about leadership and share ideas. And the fact that you go to leadership conferences, you push yourself to be better, being an example. I mean, what we tell our kids to do to be lifelong learners, you are. But then you come and you share that, and then cabinet follows. So you have made yourself better, made us better as a district, and just as individual people, and we're just beyond proud of all the hard work you've put in and the leadership that you've provided the district. So thank you for everything.
Thank you very much for those kind words. At this time, would anybody else like to come up and say a few words?
Your 16 years of leadership at TASA is an example to us of strategic leadership. To be able to become the president of TASA, you have to be, I guess, recommended by your peers and vote on you after 16 years. It's hard to get along with someone for 16 years and make a difference. And he was able to lead. I believe he's only the second Hispanic in the history of Texas to serve as the TASA president. He didn't do this for his recognition. He did it to give our children in our district an equal representation in the state of Texas. And that is absolutely amazing. I appreciate it. Wherever I would go when we're at the conference, they see Los Fresnos, and automatically they're like, oh, you're from that district, Dr. Salazar. And we're very proud. Thank you.
Awesome. I saw that there wasn't many Hispanics on there, and I didn't know how many were actually on that, but to know that there's only been 2, that's phenomenal. So great job. At this time, would anybody else like to come up and say a couple of words? Pastor Pereira, come on in.
I am incredibly proud to stand before you in this moment and call Dr. Gonzalo Salazar my friend. His leadership within the Los Fresnos School District has been exemplary since he has been superintendent, and the generation of children under his watch will do great things. Given his leadership and dedication to molding the minds of our young people. I am so happy that I can stand here to thank him for his great leadership. And I commit to him my prayers for his success and my support in all his endeavors. May the God of all grace continue to bless him on this notable, wonderful, and important day, and all his days as the excellent leader in this community that he is. Dr. Salazar, you know that my English is very limited. I wish I can speak Spanish to you at this moment. But I will tell you that all the people in my church for all these years always has been so grateful with the leadership that you have for us in our community. And I will tell you that it's so many of our services that we pray for you and all the board members, the staff, the teachers, for all of you, because for our church, the school district of Los Fresnos is very important, and we are very proud of your leadership. God bless you always, and you can be so sure that you will be always on our prayers.
Thank you for those kind words, Pastor. At this point, anybody would like to come up and say a couple of words? If not, October 11th, I'm sorry? Yeah, we're making the award, yeah. So, Jackie, can you bring me the award up here, please? Dr. Salazar, if you'd like to come up, please. Let me go down there. At this time, we'll take a 15-minute. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped it again. Dr. Salazar, if you'd like to come up and say a couple of words. Thank you very much.
Mr. Milam, members of the council, and members of the audience, I want to thank you for this recognition, for this proclamation. You didn't have to do this, but I do appreciate it, and I want to thank God for bringing me to Los Fresnos. Sandra was a little smarter than me, and she came right after college. Took me a little longer, but I know He gives us according to His mercy and His grace, and I don't know what I would have ever done to deserve the opportunity to serve in this community and to serve alongside so many great people. But Scripture also says that He uses the most unlikely people, and He puts you in positions of leadership so that His name will be glorified. And I seek out His purpose every day. One of the blessings is working with people like Mark and Val and all the great members of this community, the staff I'm privileged to serve alongside and learn from every day, the passionate teachers who care so much about kids. They are a blessing, and as I count my blessings also, everybody that I've had an opportunity to interact with in this community, they care about one thing. They care about our kids doing well. Everyone has a clear understanding. We say we're a proud district and united community. The word pride has sometimes it can have a negative connotation, but we understand the task that is in front of us to educate the children of a community, and that's where we take pride. We take pride in the work that we do. We understand what is at stake, but we are a united community because the way I see it is we're united behind a single vision of what is good for every child and the opportunity that education holds, the promise that it holds for every child. And so we're also proud of their accomplishments. So in public education, we don't just serve the public, we're producing the public. So as kids walk across the stage, we know we can be proud of being true to our mission of delivering a quality educational experience. And we know what every child's potential is as they cross that stage at graduation. I also want to acknowledge, before I give up the mic, that those of us who serve in our current positions, we stand on the shoulders of everyone that came before us. None of the things that we are able to accomplish, including becoming president of TASA, are only because of the work that we did during our tenure. Somebody paved the road so that we could walk down this path. And the ability to do that is not something we take lightly. We thank all of you who sign up to serve in this community. And I know that all of us do it with the responsibility, knowing that there's a trail of kids behind us that we are grooming to fill the positions that we hold today. So we want to continue to be good role models for them. Thank you for this recognition. October 11th takes on a whole new meaning for me. I'm just so proud to be a member of this community. Thank you.
Now at this time, we'll go ahead and break for 15 minutes, just to maybe get some snacks out here. We got water, cookies, and this is a chance we can take some pictures right up here in the front if we like. So we'll go ahead and break the meeting for 15 minutes. We'll go ahead and call the meeting back to order at 6:38. At this time, we'll take a vote for the consideration and action to approve a proclamation recognizing Los Fresnos CISD Superintendent Dr. Gonzalo Salazar. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation.
Motion has been made,
I'll second that motion.
and motion has been seconded. At this time, all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. At this time, we'll have a public hearing to receive comments from the property owners concerning the rezoning of the two properties on West Ocean Boulevard. Is there anybody here today for that? Okay, public hearing open at 6:39, and we'll go ahead and close it as well, since nobody's here. Moving on. There's no visitors' remarks at this time. So on the consent agenda items, before we make a motion, is there any items that any of the board would like to pull aside? If not, if there's a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
And which ones, to be specific?
Are we doing everything, 1 through 9?
Okay, so you've made a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 9. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion has been made and seconded. With all those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye.
Aye.
And those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 1, consideration and action to approve the first reading of ordinance 543 to rezone Fresno land and irrigation CO subdivision 0.583 acres out of Lot 32, Block 171, and the Los Fresnos Industrial Subdivision Number 1, Lot 1, City of Los Fresnos, Cameron County, Texas, from C4 Heavy Commercial District to C2 Highway Commercial District. Any comments or questions? Or Mark, would you like to add anything on this action item?
I can fill in just to be sure everybody knows why. It's there across from Julia's, where State Farm used to be, and then directly across Highway 100 on the south side, where there's a barber shop and a cleaners. Because it was on the railroad tracks, it was zoned industrial. It's never been industrial. It more closely relates to what's happened on Highway 100. And so instead of every time it is vacant or there becomes a business opening there or a rental spot open, we have to bring it for approval. Changing it to C2 will put it in the category that it should have been in. So it'll save a lot of time from yourselves as well as planning and zoning.
How long ago was it industrial? Was that like very, very old?
Yeah, it was done back years ago.
Because of the railroad and?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions from the council? And if not, if there's a motion to be made?
I'll go ahead and approve the motion for action to approve the first reading of ordinance 543 to rezone Fresno land and irrigation county subdivision, approximately half an acre, lot 32, block 171.
Okay, motion has been made,
I'll second.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. All those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 2, consideration and action to approve or reject any or all proposals received for group life insurance. Mark, is there anything you want to add on this life insurance action item?
No, sir, I've got the information there that covers it with option 3 there.
Any questions or comments from the board? Can you speak up on the microphone, please, Commissioner? Thank you.
Option 1 is the current policy we have right now. That's on page 76. Option 2 is the renewal of that, but option 3 is a better price. So we recommend that one. It's a lower price for the city.
What is the difference between option 1 and option 3? With Neutral Green and Associates.
It's a savings of $139.20 annually. The option 1 is what it is today, and so it goes down. There's a decrease. And so that's what we recommend.
I was reading that on page 81.
That's a different,
That's for the dental.
yes, sir, that'll be in,
This life insurance, okay.
yes, sir, that's item number 4.
Mark, I'm reading on page 78, so I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at this correctly. So Mutual Greer Associates.
78 is not this item.
Okay,
That's the next item.
okay.
We're only on 75 and 76 with the life insurance.
Perfect.
So at this time, in regards to the pages that Mark just discussed, if any other questions? If not, if there's a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion for the consideration and action to approve the proposals received on option number 3, Greer and Associates Mutual.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Gonzalez.
I'll second.
Okay, motion has been seconded by Commissioner Munoz. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Moving on to action item number 4, consideration and action to approve or reject any or all proposals received for supplement insurance. Any questions or comments about the supplement insurance proposal?
You skipped number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, they kind of look identical. I apologize. Going back to action item number 3, consideration and action to approve or reject any or all proposals received for group health insurance. So now it's group health.
Okay, it's on 77 and 78, and then 79 is just additional information that we have. On the notes on 77, I explained the renewal, and then option 1, 2, 3, and gave you all of the different reasons. If you'll see on page 78 where it has the chart, our current is under United Healthcare. It's a $500 deductible, and the cost is $458.72 per employee. The renewal is the second column, and that's our recommendation at $495.42 to keep the deductible the same and everything in the policy the same as what we have now. And it's been working fine, and so we'd like to recommend that. We have enough funding in the budget to cover that. And then on page 79, if you'll see, we just got a historical history of what insurance has done through the years, and we're doing very, very well compared over the last 6-7 years. not everybody has that record, so we're pleased that we've got good insurance, but yet the rates have been able to stay pretty solid. So our recommendation is the renewal.
This time, if anybody has any other questions or would like to make a motion, please do so at this time.
I'll make a motion to renew the health insurance as is.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Fernandez. Is there a second?
I'll go ahead and second that motion.
Okay, motion has been seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez. With that said, all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Now moving to action item number 4, consideration and action to approve or reject any or all proposals received for supplement insurance. Any questions or comments in regards to supplement insurance?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, just to be sure you're aware, the dental and vision is something we offer employees. They fully pay for this. We do not fund the dental or the vision. As you can see right now, we're with Guardian. We would like to go with number 3, which is Mutual of Omaha, which saves $1.34 per employee per month on the dental part of it, and the vision part, it saves 22 cents, but it's a savings, but it's the same exact coverage as what we have now, so it'll be a savings to the employees that decide to get those dental and vision.
Any questions or comments about the dental or vision supplement insurance? If not, this is the time to make a motion.
I'll go ahead and make the motion for consideration and action to approve the proposal received for supplemental insurance, changing to Mutual of Omaha for both dental and vision.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Gonzalez,
I second that motion.
and motion has been seconded by Commissioner Munoz. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 5, consideration and action to approve Resolution 7, 2022 approval of the Hazard Mitigation Plan update. Mark, is there any comments you'd like to make about this or any questions from the board?
You know, I'd like to make some comments just to be sure everybody understands. A hazard mitigation plan is a plan you take and you put out there for it. In a perfect world, if you had all the money that you in the world to do things to prevent hazards, what would you do? And so we have quite a big listing of those things, and it can be some of the hazards that you might think of as just flooding, but it's also heat, it's tornado, high winds, and so if you look in the item starting at 85, page 85, you can see the mitigation action is proposed: deepen drainage area in Resaca, Escondida, and Falcon Lake to increase stormwater retention capacity. Falcon Lake is not up Rio Grande River. We call Falcon Lake right there by the high school. But if we could get some money to deepen those, then it could hold more water and hold capacity. And so each one is like that. Drainage improvements. The next page on 86 is drainage improvements downstream. We included that because sometimes we handle the stuff inside the city, but if the drainage district doesn't continue to increase capacity downstream from us, well, then the flood waters backs up. So all of that, surge protection on critical facilities, so that if we have a lightning and surge, it doesn't, probably everybody's had a lightning where it's ruined your TV or ruined some electronic. This would have surge protection on everything. We have it on a lot of things, but some of the more larger equipment, it's very, very expensive. And so all of these have to be in the plan. And if they're in the plan, we can then search out grants. We have Grant Works that looks for grants for us. And so we'll give them this and say, hey, be searching for grants for these items. And as they come up, they'll recommend to us, hey, you ought to apply for this. And as long as it's in our hazard mitigation plan, we can qualify. Well, we can qualify to apply for those funds. If it's not in our plan, we can't even apply for them. So that's what this does, is put all those items in there.
Mark, on action number 4, for the mitigation actions, proposed action, install canopy covers in public parks for shades.
Yes.
For relief from hearing during extreme temperatures. Would that also have anything to do with like the basketball courts, that maybe putting that cover on there since it's hot? Or is that something different?
Sure, we could decide to put that cover over those courts. So yes, it could work both ways. It doesn't say where you have to put it. It says that, you want a place out of the sun and out of the heat for people to go. What better place to have a flat surface to be able to go, and maybe it has fans on it that help that. So yes, sir, that could qualify.
Would this qualify Little League Park and awnings or not?
Maybe. Depends on how you word it, and depends on what other people apply for at the same time. Maybe no one else applies, and you put cover over our bleacher section and say that, yes, it serves for Little League Baseball when they're playing ball, but it also serves for during the day for people to get out of the heat, and they can sit down. So there's a lot of things that you can do with those. If you notice, we left it kind of general, so that you don't specify exactly where it is or what it entails, and that's really kind of all of those, and so it'll go into our plan.
So if we pass this resolution, it still gotta go to accordance with the city charter rules? You have to put it for vote, or?
Say that again.
It says adopted in accordance with the city home rule charter. So if we pass it, it's gotta go by the home rule charter, or it's already in there?
It'll be in there, the plan. This puts it in the plan. Still has to come to you for, hey, we're gonna do this grant, do you think it's worth it? And all this does is put those items in.
Put those items in so that when it does come up, we can go a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit more detail on each of them.
Now to action item number 1 on this, the deepening of Resaca Escondido. That's the one behind or just west of Village East? Is that behind the high school? Is that
It's the
Whipple?
dead
Whipple and-
Resaca there by the nature park,
Yeah.
that fronts the nature park.
Any other questions?
would that have an overflow? Would we be creating an overflow over to the other end of where the neighborhood is at? Would that be considered under that too?
We're,
I think it's where the path.
yes, sir.
I know they used to have a little dam or retention something back in the day, and now would that be considered also have an escape for that?
Yes, not on this particular item, but there's other items in there that included drainage, and there's already a retention area there. But the project that you already approved and is waiting on selecting the bond counsel and financial advisor for that is to approve to connect the Resaca Escondida to that drainage ditch. And what it will be is more of a manual valve, because Resaca Escondida can fill up while the event's happening once the rainwater goes down there, which doesn't take but a few hours. Then you open that up to release it into there.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions about the hazard mitigation plan update? If not, if there's a motion to be made, this is the time.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the hazard mitigation plan update.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Fernandez.
I'll second that motion.
Motion confirmed, seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez. With that said, all those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. I believe action items 6 and 7 we'll discuss after. We'll skip and we'll come back to those after our closed session. Moving on to acknowledgement of city managers' reports. This time, is there any questions or comments on any of the manager projects? Mark, on the recycling quarterly report, I guess it has a little something to do with that, but there's only certain days of the week that service is available, correct? Like Thursdays and...
Correct. It's Tuesday morning at Memorial Park from 7 a.m. to 11. Thursday evening from 4 to 8 p.m. at Walmart. And Saturday morning from 9 to 1 at the police station, the community center.
Thank you. I didn't know if there was a drop-off place that they could just go at their own time and leisure. Thank you. Any other questions about any of the updates or water plant or street repairs or any other projects? If not, if there's a motion to be made, this is the time to do it. Mark, drought contingency plan, are we making any progress on that, or is it still the same?
We're waiting there's some inflows. We're waiting for the next report to come out, and we'll probably be able to go off of drought restrictions back to voluntary. Maybe, depending on if it's above 30%, we might have to stay with the first phase that we went into, phase 2, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday watering, which, pretty well lets people do what they want, but just keeps it in the mines. So we'll do that once that next report comes out.
Thank you.
And we're still waiting on Bronzeville to finish their engineering reports for the connection on 511.
Yes.
Mark, I didn't see it in here. I know we have a holding spot where we hold animals that we find. Is there any updates on that? Is there any kind of way that we've been promoting that? If I'm not mistaken, there's more of like a social media presence for that, or are we doing anything like that to let people know these are the dogs we have if you've lost your dog? Since it's kind of a project, I don't know if we have anything like that. I thought I saw something.
We don't, usually when there's depending on the animal, we usually go to neighborhoods where it was found and people come and ask for it. We don't do a lot of promoting that we have those ourselves. Usually if it's a loss, we get the call immediately from the residents that lost the dog.
Okay, I've been seeing a lot of lost dogs in town recently, just a lot of different exotic, pretty animals, and I'm just wondering if they end up there, and if so, are we doing anything proactively to tell people, hey, this is what we have?
Yeah, they pick them up very regularly.
Okay, I mean, it's not on here, but it's still something we have in the city. Questions, comments from any of the board?
Drainage District 1, the canal between 10th Street and Alvarez Court, I'm seeing that they are gonna begin widening that canal or deepening it a bit. And I know on one end, on the north side of that canal, it has a higher levee versus the one on Alvarez's Court side, it's a little bit lower. Is that, if they do widen it, or do they plan to put the dirt on the south side of that canal, on the Alvarez Court side?
You're talking about from 1847? this way?
Arroyo Boulevard down to
Okay.
the canal?
No, in fact, they're gonna take that hump off that's on the north side. It doesn't go up any higher, because that's just old dirt that was left from previous, dredges of it. We will take all of that dirt that they take out, as well as some of the dirt on the north side, so that it'll lower to the norm. And they've already started this work on the main ditch at the end of Alvarez Court that runs from there back to the rodeo grounds property. And they're substantially widening it, so it's going to provide a lot more capacity, like as much as 8 feet at the bottom and 4 or 5 feet at the top, so pretty substantial.
And I know we haven't had a substantial rainfall compared to the hurricane we had a few years back, 2 years ago, so we haven't been stressed to that level, and I know now that we have those bridges taken down, I'm expecting quite a much more flow on that water. Thank you, sir.
Also on that, inquire about the recycling cost. You said you sent me an email? I didn't get to read it.
Yes, sir, it's on page 112. I put it in your packet as well. Yes, sir.
The average fuel cost, $2.96, huh? Is that what it is?
I found it, thank you.
Oh, no, it's $3. Well, and then it goes to 84? Is that annual, or what is that 8451 number from? Total fuel cost.
That's on the trips, when you multiply the trips to take it to the recycling center.
Oh, okay, to the recycling center, okay.
Yeah, Pablo included, try to make the total cost, not just picking it up the days, but we have to do something with it. And so it shows the cost of the labor and also the fuel.
How about the wear and tear of the tires? Is that not included in there? or is
Yeah,
that-
that he put, if you'll see there, it says average fuel cost plus 10% wear and tear.
Okay, so that's anything maintenance, okay. Any questions from the board in regards to,
Yeah, so I'm looking to see what is done there, so give me a minute. So the annual cost is 29,000? That's how much we pay for that yearly?
Approximately.
But we ain't gaining anything out of it, huh?
No, sir. There's no real source for recycling material at this time. It's just a service for our citizens. When we weren't doing recycling, we got calls all the time, just tons and tons and tons of calls that, why don't we offer that? And so,
The reason I was asking on this is because we're spending $29,000 on this one. And you recall, I asked you, we could put one of the big canisters at least once a month. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna spend $29,000. We need to check and see how much we're spending on using one of those big dumpsters for the city, and so they can put some stuff that they don't need.
if you'll recall, we tried that and no one came. But also with the garbage service that we have with Republic Services, they pick up anything you put on the street. So there's no real benefit to putting it in your vehicle and taking it somewhere where there's a dumpster when you can take it to the curb and Republic Service picks it up there.
So in this one, we don't have, like, for example, we have somebody there, we have an employee standing there all day picking up can we place that canister somewhere by itself and let somebody just go and put whatever they want to put in there?
No, sir, because people will put tires and stuff that don't belong. We have to man it, and it's not all day. It's 4 hours at each location, and if you'll, look at the times there, it shows we do one in the morning, one in the evening, and one kind of in mid morning and afternoon on a Saturday, so that it can try to meet the needs of the people that work different shifts.
I know,
Because if you recall, that's the same comment that you said about the canister, that people will put tires and all that stuff that don't go there. So I think something that we need to look into it further, and because we give on $29,000 just to do that is kind of expensive, so.
well, I know in Harlingen, people usually drive up and they have people there, so I know when you're used to recycling, they have somebody there on site to pick that up for you, and kind of, that's pretty much the main issue is people put them in the wrong bin, so it costs more labor to start separating that than it is to have somebody man there. I don't know the hours or the number itself, but I can imagine where that would increase the cost as well. And I was going to ask Ms. Jackie, I know I've seen on Facebook in the past the hours already for recycling. Is there any way we can just start flashing that out? And I know, thank you, ma'am, appreciate it.
What was that again? I didn't get that last part.
Just so we can just send a reminder. I know we have it in the stock. It's probably in a file, and just so we can just send it out. I wouldn't say weekly, but just keep people giving a reminder, because if we are going to spend this money, that way they know and we're getting the use out of it.
I know on Thursday when I go, I try to put boxes in there and it's already full. People there, I mean, this thing's already full at the top. So people are using it. The thing I'm afraid of the dumpster is that they're going to throw trash, they're going to throw construction supplies, and then to pay somebody to sort through all that stuff, I don't know how much that cost would be. And then where are we going to have to dispose of all that stuff from? So having that person there kind of checks and balances, hey, you can't put that there, you can put this here. And it just makes things more efficient than having to do all that extra work. That's just my opinion. And $29,000, I can see that as a cost, but I mean, it's an expense that the city has, and we do it for the residents of the community. So I can't think of an easier way to do it than what we're doing here.
It's not about the easier way to do it, it's just we're saying it's a cost of it, Sometimes we need that money to do it, use it somewhere else. But,
Yeah, but sometimes there's costs that you gotta have, and this is something
I
that you
understand
gotta
where you're
have.
coming to, we give some people the right to do that, and we don't give the other people the same thing, because like I was telling them about that canister, so if that is a deal about having somebody there, we can put somebody there for the cancer is, so, you know,
Is there
same
any-
thing.
is there any, Mark,
Pay-
you can
Pay another $29,000 for that.
Can you hire a robot or buy a robot there that kind of, somebody can see it and, you know, because I mean, it's kind of hard. If we've done what he said and it didn't work, then, you know, in the future, we can always make suggestions. And then we can try to see if we can implement it. But if what you're saying, he've already tried it and it didn't work, and this works, of course, if y'all want to take a look at that in the future and find a more efficient way to do it, then we can bring it to Mark's attention and Mark can let us know if that's something that we could change, but I don't see a problem with what we're doing here. Yes, it's 29,000, but like I said, it's something that people need. Anything else from the board? Any Commissioner Gonzalez or Commissioner Fernandez, anything you want to add on that? I know Commissioner Fernandez haven't said much, so what do you think?
No, I think that that's something that we offer for free for our community. And 29,000, it might seem a lot, but that's something that the community is not paying. And I know that other cities, they provide the option of having a dumpster that it's for recycling, but that's an extra cost and it's quite expensive to have it. So as of right now, I think that it's the best option. We can always look into any other options, but right now I feel that it's something free for our community.
Now, if Republic would offer the, I don't know, red, I know San Antonio, I just think of, because when I go to San Antonio, my brother-in-law, they have a recycling bin. That would be extra, they would have to pay for but I'm sure we're not anywhere near wanting to get to that point. But I know there are other options, like you mentioned, another canister, but 29,000 now, considering that, yes, this is a topic that people will always be asking about recycling, because we do have a lot of citizens in Los Fresnos that are very environmentally conscious. 29,000 is a fee that it is what it's going to take to provide it for them, so I'm okay with that.
We did check into, could we get it offered by Republic Services with a separate can? It would be minimum of $5 and maybe as much as $750 or more a month of cost. And the council then says, no, we're not going to saddle that much additional to our residents because Republic would only do it if everyone, it's not like,
It's
two
not like
houses on
opt in,
this
opt out.
street and a house over there. It would have to be all or none, and that's a substantial amount of money increase.
The more residents we get, though, the better the pricing we can get, right? As the city continues to grow, we can look at that sometime in the future if the cost was to change.
Yeah, but when you're looking at, we have, we track the numbers of people. It's on page 154 in the department head reports. It's there every month. There's 415 drop-offs. So out of 2,000 people, 2,200 probably in water meters. So you've got about 20% maybe or less that bring it once a month. So it's just,
The demand isn't there yet.
it doesn't make financial sense to have another cart.
Alrighty, at this time, if there's no more questions, was there a motion to acknowledgement of city manager's reports?
I'm sorry, Mark, Part E, Whipple Road, any new information from the county on that bridge or anything like that?
No new information.
With that being said, I'll go ahead and propose to an action to approve the city manager's report.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Gonzalez,
I'll second.
and motion has been seconded by Commissioner Fernandez. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Moving on to the acknowledgement of department head reports. Any questions or comments about any of those items before we go into closed session? If not, if there's a motion to be made, motion can be made at this time. Mark, I've noticed on the library, there seems to be more activity going on. Is that increasing the amount of people that are going in and using the services here at the library? Have you noticed an uptick in that?
Yes, it is.
I know we had mentioned sticking with the library, a few months back, we had mentioned on the book exchange program that Ms. Gabby was mentioning. Is there anything that, I know something would have been ordered?
Yes, we have it. It's, just needs to be installed. Hopefully we'll get that, installed soon, and, Angie will be in charge of keeping those books rotated.
Any questions or comments or any motions to be made?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to acknowledge the department head reports.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Gonzalez.
I'll second.
Motion has been seconded by Commissioner Fernandez. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time, it's 7:21. We'll go ahead and enter our closed session deliberation pursuant to Section 551074, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act regarding the following: evaluation and duties of city manager, public works director, IT director, chief of police, librarian, finance director, and city secretary. Time is 7:21. Closed session. And open the meeting back up at 8:08. So open session, deliberation, and possible action on the following: evaluation and duties of city manager, public works director, IT director, chief of police, librarian, finance director, and city secretary. Going back to action item number 6, consideration and action to approve a budget amendment to the general fund. Is there a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion to approve
Motion has been made
the
by,
budget amendment to the consideration fund, general fund.
motion has been made by Commissioner Fernandez,
I'll second that motion.
and motion been seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Consideration and action to approve a budget amendment to the utilities fund. Is there a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment to the utility funds.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Fernandez. And I'll go ahead and second that. Second by Mayor Flores. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries.
I abstained.
It's 8:10, and this meeting